Welcome. I appreciate you all for coming to today's Speaking with Confidence. So, I would like to create an atmosphere where people get really confident with communicating exactly who it is that they are and what it is that I believe that God has placed inside them. Everybody has something to say. Whether it's speaking up for yourself in some atmosphere that you're in and you don't feel comfortable, or speaking up for your business because you have a solution and you hear somebody has that problem, we have to be able to speak with confidence. So I wanted to make sure that I created this program, Speaking with Confidence, to really begin the balls rolling on getting prepared for that. So I have five basic things that I want to have as bases for what we talk about today. So this will be a series. This is the first of the series called Say It With Your Chest. Okay? And I know that I've heard that phrase when Kevin Hart had that joke and he talked about his dad saying, say it with your chest. And for me, it always stuck with me because our voices are in our necks. They're in our mouths. But our chest is where our heart is. So for me, saying it with your chest is really saying it with your whole heart, saying it with who you are. And of course, I'm an acronym queen, so CHEST is an acronym, and it stands for clarity, honesty, enthusiasm, symbols, and testimony. Yeah. And a copy of this will be available on my website, Bow. For me, clarity is one of the most important things to start with because that begins your communication in general. Being able to clearly feel what you have to give and then put it into words to where you can display it, give it, communicate it, all those things. That requires clarity. Honesty is another really big thing because we all can tell when somebody doesn't feel comfortable with themselves. And honestly, a lot of times it makes us feel uncomfortable too. So when we're trying to communicate with somebody and we're trying to speak with confidence, it really is about being honest with where you are at the moment. Which could be, I'm over at the TV trying to figure something out and saying, I'm over at the TV trying to figure something out. Just be honest. Yeah. The next one is enthusiasm. Now, that one, some people say you're born with it. Some people say you can grow to it. I believe it's something that you can put on just like a jacket. Enthusiasm is just the feeling that you add to anything that you do. Hopefully, it has like some energy behind it. I think that's why enthusiasm is spelled with a E and not an I for me. Symbols are also important because we attach things to things that we're familiar with. Our brain looks for patterns. Our brain goes really hard towards things that we're familiar with. So in your communication, if I could say this stop sign mean to me, we all know what stop signs are. And that gives us a symbol and something to pinpoint when we're working on our communication. The last one is testimony. Lots of people want to know why it's important. Why are we saying what we're saying? Why is it that we're speaking this way? The testimony ends up being your proof. What you did, what happened, who it helped, how it helped. That's all a part of the testimony. So in today's lesson, we will be breaking down each of these things. And I also, fast. And I also have assignments that we'll briefly discuss so that you can just get the idea of ways that we can improve these particular areas. Okay. All right. So let's begin with the introduction. I want to know, really, why are you here?
I'm here for, I'm sorry, can I speak? I'll speak first. I'm here to gain like more confidence when I'm speaking in representation for my small business. I have a small business that focuses on improv, and I'm pretty good at some of that, but there are times that I notice that it doesn't always, like the confidence doesn't always register.
Got you. So what I'm hearing is that because you have an improv brand that you want to represent with more confidence, you're coming to this class to gain some of those skills.
Right, yes.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
And also, I have a film production company, so whenever I'm talking to other people, in the entertainment space, sometimes it just gets like a little bit overwhelming. I think talking to them about what they do, and then I bringing in what I do. So trying to relate the same I don't know, like skill set in that art realm.
So for me to understand, you're coming to this class because you would like to find more connecting points with other people as you go and network and have the confidence to go and meet them.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Yay! Well, I am so glad. You're awesome, by the way. It's so fun. But I am so glad that you have taken the time, because when you invest in yourself in any area, that's more in that area. So you brush your teeth are healthier. You go to the gym, your body's healthier. You come to spaces like this where we're focusing on technique, skills, tools, and your ability. You get better. That's just what's going to happen. So I appreciate hearing why you're here. In terms of the goals, I would like for you to take a moment and really think about what it would feel like to be the fully confident presenter. Just take a moment. Yeah, that feeling tone, do you feel it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. The beautiful thing about feelings is we can coax them, we can coerce them, we can create them. And the feeling is actually what we get behind each word we say. So when somebody is confidently saying something, we're really feeling their feeling of sureness, their feeling of I know this, their feeling of I got this and you need to know this. It's the feeling that we're really communicating. Words just happen to be like the packaging.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get into this mode where you can feel that most confident person, go ahead and write down 3 or 4 attributes or qualities that that person would have as they present and talk. Would anybody like to share?
I'll go.
Yes, please.
I have certainty, patience with their pacing, and efficiency in words and the delivery.
Nice. So when you hear certainty, where do you feel that in your body?
I think I would think in my neck area.
Okay.
Because it's like one of the last areas when the words come out, as opposed to, so some of that, just the vibration of the word coming out. Sometimes it's a little bit more controlled than other times.
Okay.
So, which will break up the certainty or
Nice.
how it comes out as certainty.
Right. Okay. So I heard control in relationship to certainty. I think that's a really good, relationship to remember. And the beautiful thing about speaking is we are in control of our part of the conversation. And that leads me to clarity.
Woo!
Yeah. I love it. So clarity for me comes in when you are intentional. Okay, so think about a window. If it's dirty, got pollen on it, because we in the middle of winter, summer, spring in Georgia,
Right.
we won't have clarity because there's a lot of stuff in the way. But if we clean the window and we only have the glass, or what in speaking we'd only have the message. Okay, so instead of all the fluff that we might try to put into it, which also speaks to your word of efficiency, the clarity is in having that one message to say, or the messages to say. Because, sometimes you might have a whole weekend to speak to somebody. We get to create clarity with our preparation. Okay, and that's, again, in our world of control. And as a speaker, one of the things that I love is there's so much that we can control and then so much that's out of our control. The room, the atmosphere, the people, where they are, how they're feeling, what's going on, all that type of stuff. We can't control all those things. But we can control what we offer to the room, to the people, to the atmosphere. And then clarity's being added to any moment or any situation for your improv business. If you can get so clear about what you offer, about who you help, about how you help them, about your process of helping them. Anytime you were to speak, even if it's some random, hey, I just went to the Dad's Garage the other day, but I don't really know any other improv classes. Mm-hmm. Because you have the clarity and you've prepared beforehand, you would have, I serve and I do, and we help in these ways, and these are your results. So for me, I want to know, what are you sure of? We don't have to write it all down now because I'm pretty sure you're sure of a lot. But when we are speaking, and especially if you're looking to be a speaker, if you're wanting to look on or speak on behalf of a company or a business or a project, your sures are what's going to help you sound clear. I am sure that you all can be great speakers. So my clarity comes through because I'm sure of that. I am sure that clarity is important. Yes, go ahead.
I just was going to say the what are you sure of resonates loudly because I also work in sales, so in tech sales, and in tech sales, selling a particular software that could traverse any number of different technologies. So it's like an infinite amount of things that I don't know. But when you say speaking to what you do know, I'm thinking about like, okay, this software is what I do know. So speaking to that part, and not being concerned about, the other areas that I don't know. So just want to say that does resonate well.
I love that. And being able to, again, that comes to the part of what you can control. Your expertise is in your circle of control. What you don't know and what you may not have experienced and what somebody else know or somebody else may know, all somebody else's thing, not in your control. But for sure, if you're sure, you know what you know and you can speak about it. All right. And I know we're going through this kind of quick. Again, this PDF will be available on my website. Honesty is the next point. Now, this is one of my favorite points because of the fact that honesty is something that is felt. Like, people can say all sorts of words, but you can kind of feel when somebody is saying something in a way where they're trying to be nice, or they're saying something in a way to try to be mean, or they're saying something in a way that isn't really the truth. We all can feel that because we are electromagnetic beings, which is really cool. God has made us wired to be tapped into everything and everyone. And honesty is one of those barometers that really have people say, well, I'll accept it or I won't. So again, we can only control what we have to offer the audience. But our honesty will give us one more step towards them saying, oh, sure, I'll receive what you have. Because it's not coded in anything weird other than your honest truth. Okay? And honesty is, again, I'm up here trying to figure something out. Figure it out with me, or I'm running a little behind, let me get my stuff together. Or I know for a fact this. However your honesty comes up, it will piggyback off your clarity. All of these things go together. So another one of the exercises that we can do is think about what you can be honest with. Again, there's infinite possibility of speaking on anything. But what can you honestly say? What can you honestly do? So if this was a class about tech sales, I would not be honest. I can say you Canva because me and Canva, we be getting along. But other than that, what can I do honestly? And so these are the kind of questions that if you're preparing to speak to a certain audience, please ask. Or if you're going to speak to any of your potential clients, what is honest about your business? What is honest about your services? What is honest about how you go about doing what you do? You know, and so also some of the reason I think that we can feel honesty is because it's a message in and of itself. You know, our words are all vibration. Yes, they're wrapped in words, but the vibration underneath it all is a part of it. And when we're honest, so much more power, so much more energy, so much more life, so much more love, because you can't lie and be honest. You know, you can't love and not be honest, I don't believe, like in terms of your giving. So in this exercise, it would be a brain dump, because a lot of the times people think only writing, but sometimes pictures, images, and things of that nature can spark more honesty of who you like to be on stage. Because honesty doesn't only have to be in what you're saying, it can be how you're saying it. I move. I'm a person who talks with my hands. It would not be honest of me to try to talk with my hands beside myself, you know, and not be as demonstrative as I want to be.
Right.
My honesty is that. So even in how you present, honesty can be a part of it. Next topic. Oh, see, honesty has two. Next topic is enthusiasm.
Okay.
Now that's one that I'm oozing with. But that's because I've practiced. I practice sitting in my now moment so much so that you enjoy it with me. Because I'm sitting good and enjoying it myself. And that's what enthusiasm is about. When you get up on the stage, the time you have there is the time they have. If you having a good old time, they having a good old time. If you feel a little uncomfortable, they're fidgeting in their seats for you. You know, because they feel you being a little uncomfortable and they want you to do good, because nobody wants you to be bad. Like, honestly, anybody who leaves their house to go somewhere and hear somebody speak, or it leaves their house and runs into you on their day or whatever, they're not hoping that you let them down, or that you say something that's not going to be helpful, or that you don't add to their life. They're honestly asking or looking for the answer to whatever question they've had on their mind, the solution that you may have because you see the problem that they have. People are honestly looking for you to be helpful. So your enthusiasm about what solutions you have to offer, especially like the production company, you are able to help people curate their ideas and put it into production. That's one of those things that if you have enthusiasm, you can take a creative and make their creative even bigger. Oh, they're following you. They're wanting to come with you. They're listening to every word you have to say. So enthusiasm is one of those things that, again, I believe you can put it on like a jacket. And speaking of, let's go ahead and stand up. Let's work on our enthusiasm jackets. Yours could be a pea coat. It could be like a bomber jacket if you want to have the little things that grab here. It could be whatever kind of coat you like. But what I say it happens is you got to look through your closet. So look through your closet. Yep. Look through your closet and pull out your enthusiasm jacket. Yep. You see it? Nice and fine, right? Go ahead and shake it out a little bit. Make your whole body shake. You got to get all the old enthusiasm off. Charge it up. It's one of those like shake things. All right, take it off the hanger, put the hanger back. Let's go ahead and put it on. Yep, just like you put on a regular coat. Adjust it around your neck. And then the final thing. Yes. Now, how do you feel?
Enthusiastic.
Woo! I did not pay him. I love that. But those are some of the exercises you may have a seat. That's one of the exercises that has nothing to really do with speaking. But it has everything to do with speaking because it has a lot to do with your energy as you speak. And I think that's one of the things that when it comes to these principles that aren't necessarily about how you're talking, but it's like what you're talking with. That's one of the things. So again, another exercise of writing and drawing what enthusiasm looks like to you, because everybody has a different idea of what that is, because not everybody is gonna be that. All right, again, we are going through this quickly, but I will have this available as a resource online, as well as having more of these series, because I definitely want to create a community of people who are ready to communicate. All right, symbols. Now, the cool thing about symbols is anything can be a symbol. Anything can be made into an analogy. Anything can be made into a metaphor. Anything can be made into something that other people get another picture for. And I think that's the beauty about having symbols. Is like a ring on my finger. This symbolizes me being married. Even if you're not from my culture, this has some significance, because usually rings have some significance. So in your speech, if you're talking about commitment, you can use the ring as a full circle that you're committed to all that's going to happen within that marriage. If you want to talk about the communication, full circle, we got to communicate all that we have to do. Again, I'm taking one object and symbolizing it for different points that I'm making within whatever speech. This could also work for, say, the improv class. And if you have a symbol for creative arts or going off the dome or any of those things, we can use, say, a drop in the bucket. Lots of people know what a drop in the bucket is. And for improv, every time you do improv, you're dropping in your bucket of feeling full of yourself. At least that's my experience with improv. And maybe that can be an analogy for adding on new games, adding on new characters, adding on new voices where they practice, those kind of things. And then your bucket is now full and overflowing. But it's a symbol that now draws a picture in the mind of the people we're talking to, and now they can hold on to it a little better. Because they might not leave remembering everything you said, but they can remember, I'm putting a drop in my bucket. And now that's something that captivates them. Again, we have an assignment. Whoa, that's back. Again, we have an assignment. This one is two-parter. But I think that when it comes to symbols, I would love for you to, let's go ahead and do one of the street signs. So pick a street sign, any street sign that you've seen on your way over here or that you might see. And think about how we can relate it to the topic that you most want to speak about. Let's go ahead and do that. This is Andre 3000's music. I do not own the rights to this music. I am just listening because he's awesome. Everybody.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Talk to me about it. How'd that make you feel?
Very introspective and kind of thinking about just how I see symbols on a daily basis and how it can include life and more into my life, if that makes sense.
I love that. I love that. What sign did you happen to pick?
I was in a rush on my way over here, so I saw speed checked by detection devices. So it's not saying, the speed limit. It was like, hey man, we checking speed, so you might want to just slow down. So, and I related that to confidence and speaking and everything with how you were mentioning we kind of know when somebody is being honest or dishonest. So the speed at which you talk or deliver, it's going to be checked by the detection devices, which is kind of like your listeners know whether or not you're being authentic or honest with them. And when you're either speaking too fast, it's not going to sound as, true or certain, or if you're kind of slow, then, well, maybe they don't really, know as much as they should, or that they said that they're, know about this topic. So, yeah, so honesty, clarity, pacing with that.
I love that. I love that. And the beautiful thing about symbols is they mean everything to everybody, or anything to everybody. And when I heard that, I heard like you giving people the check for their own improv confidence. Because I know a lot of the times when you're playing improv, like there is no speed limit, there is no right way, there is no wrong way,
Right.
but it is detected by how in the present moment you are.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
I can see that being the thing. Thank you so very much for sharing. All right. We have one more topic to go through. And for me, I think this one is kind of like what most people are looking for from you. Like, okay, and this is important. Why? And the testimonial says why. Because it gives an example that's already been done of what you're trying to say. It gives the range from start to finish so that people can see the transformation that comes from them adopting what you said, or for them thinking about the things that you said in the way that you did, or all of the combination of things that can happen while you're speaking in front of somebody. So for me, testimonials are not only like somebody else's story, a lot of times they're your own story, or your own relationship to the story you're trying to tell. So for speaking with confidence, one of the things that I can say as testimonial is the fact that I've been speaking on a stage since I was like 4 or 5. So my years of just gathering ways of collecting people's attention, infusing my energy into it, as well as storytelling. I did a degree in theater, performance, dance, communication, and marketing, so I got a lot of that in college, as well as my years of just wanting to communicate the good things that I feel like God wants to say through me. I can have that as a part of my testimonial for maybe why you should listen to Say It With Your Chest, or why you should join this program so that you also can speak with confidence. I can then say, because of those things, I now have these principles. And it kind of backs up the fact that I'm saying clarity, honesty, enthusiasm, symbols, and testimonies are a way to communicate. Because now you've seen, she's been talking for a long time. A long time, So I would love for you, especially you all who are in business, to think about the testimonials of the people you worked with. That's why we try to say, hey, can you give us a review? Because people want proof of what you have to offer. All right. So the beautiful thing about this is I've created some questions that I believe that can support you creating your testimonial stories. Again, you will have this in the PDF. All right. That kind of concludes the more informational portion, because I would like for us now to get up on our feet, test some of these things out. You're going to go with the topic that you thought about in terms of your goal. Okay, so think about you communicating more about your production company, more about your improv, so that we'll get it into our minds, get it into our body. Get clear about what you want to say. Okay, we won't have you up here doing a 30-minute spiel. No need. But we will get up here for at least 3 minutes so that you have some time to get a little nervous if you need, and then get over it. And a lot of times in speaking, that happens. We are actually a bit nervous to begin with, or in the middle, because we stopped paying attention to what we were doing and we started thinking about something else, and we came back and we're like, oh no, where am I? But being able to come back into the present, be honest about where you are, do it with a little enthusiasm, those are the things that really allow for you to speak and speak with confidence. So again, thank you so very much for coming. This is the opening portion where I'm giving you tools, tips, and I'm going to do this on a regular basis. So this was the series, Say It With Your Chest. There will be more series and there will be more practice, because a lot of these tools, they're not something that you could just have once. Clarity can be worked on all the time. Your honesty is developed every day, especially when you're honest with yourself. your enthusiasm again. You know, it's like a coat. Get more coats of enthusiasm. Maybe there's one that has a chill, and then maybe there's one that's so excited that they bounce. You know, whatever it is, develop those things. And also think about all the symbols that you really like, the things that you gravitate towards in your life. Allow that to inform how you speak to people about what it is that you have to offer them. And finally, your life is your testimonial. Point blank, period. Who you are, what you've done, what you have to offer is your testimonial. So make sure you have a way to communicate it and communicate it with confidence. Thank you so much. This is Speaking with Confidence. Yay! Right. All right, I'm going to stop going live. But I'm still going to record.
Oh, okay.
So we will be able to